Hello Year 8s, this time we're going to do a little bit of a summary of all the measurement stuff that we've done, okay? So I'm just going to put quite a few things all together. So let's talk about the area of a parallelogram. Okay, parallelogram. So if we've got something that looks like this, we need to times the base by the height. But it can't be this slanted edge, okay? It's got to be a completely straight vertical height. So you'll have like a little right angle drawn and they will give you the height. So if they label this side one, don't be tricked by it, okay? They're just adding it in there to trick you, but you don't actually need to use it, okay? So the area equals base times height. That's all you have to do. So for an example, let's say that you're given something that looks like this, okay? This can be 4 centimeters and the base can be 7 centimeters. And let's say that this is 4.5 centimeters. Okay, now if they put that measurement in, just ignore it. It's just there to annoy you, okay? You really only want these two measurements. That's all you need. So the area is the base times the height. So 7 times 4 is 28 centimeters. And don't forget your little squared because we're talking about area, okay? I'm not talking about perimeter or anything like that. Next, let's talk about the area of a trapezium, okay? So a trapezium looks like this. So it's got two slanted edges as well. So same thing, well not same thing, we do need to know the height. We need to know the vertical height, okay? So don't worry about these slanty edges. If they tell you what they're worth, it really doesn't matter. They're just trying to trick you, okay? And then we call these two A and B. So the area is half A plus B times the height, okay? So you first need to work out this little bit in here. So as an example, let's say, so what are we going to say? Let's call this 4 centimeters, let's call this 3 centimeters, and let's call this 9 centimeters, okay? So the area is half A plus B, which is the top and the bottom. So we've got 3 plus 9 times the height, which is 4. So what do? We say it's half times, now what did we work this out? 3 plus 9 is 12 times 4, okay? You can work that out on a calculator if you need to, but half times 12 is 6, times 4 is 24. So we have 24 centimeters squared. Don't forget your little squared, okay? Also, some trapeziums look like this, where they already have one straight edge. If they do, and there's a little right angle, you can use this as your height instead. So let's say this was 5 meters, this is 6 meters, and the bottom one's 8 meters, okay? You can use this as your height. You don't need a separate one in the middle, although if you did, it would be the same thing, so it doesn't really matter. So half times A plus B, this time we've got A at the top and B at the bottom, 6 plus 8 times the height is 5, even though it's part of the shape itself. It's still completely straight. So 6 plus 8 is 14 times 5. So half times 14, or half of 14 is 7, times 5 is 35. So we've got 35 meters squared. Don't forget your little squared, okay? Next, let's have a look at a circle. If I can figure out, I've lost my pen. Oh, there we go. Turn the page. Okay, so the area of a circle. Now you need to know the radius for the area of a circle. Remember, the radius is just halfway. If you want the diameter is all the way across. This is the diameter. And the radius is half of the diameter, isn't it? Because it's only halfway across. So if they give you the diameter in the picture, just halve it and then use your formula, okay? So the area is pi, which is just your button on your calculator, r, whatever r is, squared. That's all you have to do. So let's do an example. So let's say the radius was 5 centimeters, okay? So the area is just pi times 5 squared. And you can just type that straight into your calculator and you'll end up with, and then just round it because you'll end up with decimal places for this one. So 78.54 centimeters squared. All right, so just type this straight into your calculator and round off to 2 decimal places. That's enough. If they gave you a circle, well, that's not a very good looking circle. They gave you a circle like this and gave you the diameter. First of all, you need to figure out the radius. So it's pi r squared. Now, r would be half of this, wouldn't it? because the radius is only half of the diameter. So 7 is what we want, not 14. If you put in 14, you will get the wrong answer. So you just put that in straight to your calculator, and it's 153 meters squared. Oh no, hang on. We forgot the points. I'm getting distracted. Okay, so it's 153 point, oh, and I'm trying to change colour. 0.94 meters squared. Okay, that's how you find the area of a circle. Now, what if they told you to find the shaded area of a circle? Okay, what if they kind of made a bit in here? So let's call this diameter 4. Oh gosh, I've made that so small you can't see it. Well, let's have another go at that, shall we? That's a bit silly of me. All right, so let's draw a really big one. So let's call this 4 centimeters, and let's call this, what do we want to call this one? Let's call this one 10 centimeters. Okay, so let's say you want to find the area of the shaded bit. So you just want the outside. So what you're going to need to do is find the area of both, and then just minus the little one from the big one, and you'll have your answer. So the area of the big one is pi r squared. Now what's r? R is going to be 5 because we've been given the diameter and we do not want the diameter. So pi 5 squared, well, we actually did that one before, didn't we? So it'll be 78.54. And the area of the little one is going to be pi, not 4, but 2 squared, because 2 is the radius. And then pi 2 squared is, what have I got? 12.54. Okay? Now, to find the area of the shaded, you just minus 1 from the other. So it's going to be 78.54 minus 12.54. What? It's not 5.4, it's 5.7. I've copied the wrong thing. 5.7. Okay? So the answer is 65.97 centimeters squared. Okay? So if you've got a question like this, just find out the two bits separately and then minus 1 from the other. Hopefully that helps. All right, let's talk a little bit about volume. Actually, let's do that in the next video.